Brian Chesky from Airbnb, his background was in design. Evan Sharp, the co-founder of Pinterest, he was an architecture major. Whitney Wolfhard, founder of Bumble, had a business and marketing background. None of them were engineers, but they knew the customers so well that they could lead teams to build game-changing products. The reason why I think this is so important is so many people think because I'm not technical enough or because I haven't written code or built projects before, I can't be a product manager. And it is a blocker for so many people to actually see themselves in that role and break in. That's why I want to make sure in this video I explain what it really means to be a product manager so that being technical doesn't block you from reaching your dreams and goals. Here's what matters more than coding: empathy for users, clear communication, prioritization, knowing what problem is worth solving, leading cross-functional teams. These skills, you can learn and practice them from any background. My background was in finance, and I worked in product marketing in the industry of cloud computing before I made the move to a product manager role. When I was applying to over 40 PM roles in my first product manager job, it was almost impossible to get even a conversation going with a lot of recruiters and hiring managers. Simply wanted someone who had product manager experience, or the product was very technical and they wanted someone who had that domain or insight. So, yes, it's important to know enough to be able to have conversations with engineers. There's a lot of resources I've shared around how to get technical and understand technical concepts. But when it comes to being a coder, it really is not important to the day in the life of a product manager. And that's coming from someone who is a product manager at Google. And I've also been a PM at Amazon before. Tools like SQL, APIs, system design concepts, they help you speak the language. And these are things that you should understand. But don't let lack of code stop you from getting started. You can learn a lot of these things on the job. If you see that being able to code, understanding Python, or maybe even learning SQL is important to the role, you can pick that up and it could be something that you develop as you grow into your product manager role. But to get started, it is not a prerequisite. So if you've been holding back because you think I'm not technical enough, everyone around me is a software engineer or has worked in the industry for so long, don't worry. Don't let this be something that holds you back. Some of the best PMs came from design, business, or even art school. What matters most is number one, your understanding of what product managers do and having a strong why of why you want to become a product manager and your obsession with the problem and the people you're solving for. Those things will take you further than anything. I know I'm going to get comments and feedback saying, hey, being technical is actually really important for product management. I'm not saying that is not important. What I am saying is it should not be a blocker to people to break into the role. I think it's a misconception, and hopefully it helps at least one person realize that they are good enough to get started. And the reality is 90% of the technical things I have to understand and learn are brand new to me and things that I pick up on the job. I have to do a lot of research, dive really deep into the customers and their problems, and get technical through that process. Joining a new team, even at a big company, you will be surprised how much people are learning as they go. There is really a strong need for people who are curious, learn quickly, and are interested in the space more than people who seem to already know everything or have an idea of how things should work or are technical. And I think that is a misconception that most people have. So if you are debating if you should go into product management and you come from a non-technical background like finance, design, marketing, or business, go for it. And reach out to me on LinkedIn. I can share some of the resources that helped me ramp up on the technical concepts I needed to. And this will be hopefully your next step to becoming a product manager. Another big thing why this video is more important now than ever is the massive rapid growth in AI coding tools that have emerged over the last year, including Lovable, Bolt.new, and some of the big tech companies are also coming up with their own AI tools. And some companies are saying a quarter of the code that they're writing is generated by AI. So in the next few years, we will see that most code is going to be automated and generated with LLM-based coding tools. So the reality is even engineers are going to start to think about customers and design decisions and less about coding and writing specific syntax. That is another incentive for people who want to get technical. You don't need to code. What you need to do is understand how to use these new AI tools like Lovable and Bolt.new and quickly get ramped up on the best practices. And another thing that I recently heard from a PM at Google is this idea of what a product manager versus a technical product manager means and how that pretty much doesn't exist anymore because every PM is technical if you're using AI coding tools. All of us can generate new prototypes and new apps. So there's no binary between a technical and non-technical PM. We're all technical, and we're getting pretty close to all amongst engineers being able to build apps and prototypes very quickly. So that means more than ever, you do not need to have a background in learning how to use Python or Java and different languages, but more learning how to use the new AI coding tools to build projects and implement them. Hopefully, this gave you some inspiration. Hit the subscribe button for more PM tips. Make sure you drop a comment if you have other questions that you want me to answer, anything related to being a product manager in big tech, interview processes, resume reviews, and best practices on how to launch great products. All right, see you in the next video.